Chris, I'm glad you asked me that because that is a big deal. Now, the legislature did pass it, so recreational sales of marijuana will be legal. Actually, possession was legal as of July 1st. The state legislature gave the health department a certain amount of time to get all the rules and regulations in place to make the recreational sales happen. And that will happen somewhere between January and April. I think they're mandated to get it done by April 1st. But the question is, how's Red River dealing with this? I've attended a couple of city council meetings, and we've talked about this extensively. And we are required to allow it in our town. The general feeling is it's not something we're real thrilled about, but it's a requirement, so we're going to have to deal with it. Now, the way we deal with it, we're told we can deal with it by ordinance, but we have to be reasonable. So what it's going to look like on the ground is when you come to Red River, you're walking up and down Main Street, you're not going to see anything is kind of what we're looking like. It looks like it's going to be pushed to the very far and very west end of town. One thing we do not want, and you've driven through those towns in Colorado, and I know a lot of your listeners have, is we do not want a big interior lighted sign with a green cross or a marijuana leaf on it. That is just not us. We are family friendly. I don't want grandpa and grandma walking down with their 10-year-old son in front of a weed shop. And nobody in our town wants that either. So we're looking at sign ordinances that will be specific for these shops. We've talked about not allowing them to have green leaves, green crosses, the word marijuana, weed, or anything else like that on the sign, and pushing these to the far ends of town. So those that wish to partake, I mean, they're going to find the shop, and that's fine. I don't really have a dog in the fight, except for I want our town to remain family-friendly and really nice. So that's what we're looking at. So is it going to have a big impact on Red River? No, not by the way we're doing it. And keep in mind, these are all just discussions now, and we're working on our ordinances. Hopefully we'll have our ordinances done in the next 60 to 90 days, and then you'll see exactly what it looks like. But these are the ideas that have been under consideration and what we're talking about.
Have you heard much at this point about folks interested in starting those businesses, entrepreneurs, and whether they be local or whether they'll try to come in from elsewhere? Because obviously, evidently, you see in some of these other states, there's big money at stake, big money to be made, evidently.
It was kind of interesting because this was brought up in the city council meeting the other day, and the town of Red River has no say in who gets to operate one of these shops. If people want to do it, they just apply with the state, and if they're granted a license, the license will be specific for that area. Now, one of the other things we can do by ordinance is we can limit how many are allowed in town. And we can do that by population. So let's say we got 450 people. We can say allow one per every 500 people, which allows us one. Or we can say one per every 200 people of population, so that would allow us two. So we don't have any say on who actually gets to do this. One thing we are going to take, though, is the state is going to take about 5% in taxes. It's going to be taxed at a rate of somewhere between 12 and 18%, and that's on a graduated scale as time moves on. But the town of Red River will actually obtain anywhere probably between about 7 and 12% in taxes that we can use for whatever we want.